Okay, here we go. Here we go. Hi, welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome. How are you? Good to see you. All right. I think you're looking good. What's going on? Welcome to House Parks Megaworldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show, etc., etc., etc. Sorry about the raggedy fan noise. I'm not quite sure what I can do about that. It's just, I don't know. I think is it not normal to stick a playing card in your computer's fan like it's a bicycle from the mid-'70s? Excuse me one second. Talk amongst yourselves. Not quite, but close. Okay. I shut the little door on there. Hopefully it'll, straighten itself out. Welcome. Lots to cover today. All right, I have to say, these little gatherings in the White House are getting sketchier by the day. Because I swear to God, they're just having him sign pages of Project 2025 in case he kicks off. For real. Like, I gotta say, it looks like they're like, I don't know how much longer this dude's gonna last. So just hand him all this. Get him to sign it. We'll worry about the bills later if we can at all. But let's just make sure that we sign off on this and get it like on the books as an executive order. Yeah, he doesn't look good. He's not sleeping. He's raggedy and mad and hyper fixated. Everybody around him is standing like Jesus Christ. He might fall out of his chair, except for the ones that I think presume they will help take over once he does. I think that's the two different stances. There's these guys that are kind of like, uh-oh. Oh, is it quiet? Sorry. Let me see if I can crank this up a little bit on that side. Let's see, maybe bring this up a little bit. How about the main signal right there? Get that going. Oh, it would be the monitor side that I have to drive up. Check. Maybe that's a little better. Hey, check one. There you go. Is that a little better, guys? And then in this, I'm going to see if I can, I don't know if this is going to suck, but sorry if this takes out too much of the noise, but it should be all right. Hopefully it takes out some of that noise outside. We don't know. Let me know. All right, anyways, there are these guys that stand around him like he's about to fall over. And then there are these guys that look like they're about to seize his chair when he falls over. It seems to be two groups. Elon Musk is clearly in the Doug Burgum, like, aha, that's my chair now crowd. And then there are the rest of these guys who are like, uh-oh. It's like that old, I forget who did the joke. Was it Paul F. Tompkins? Did he do it? Which was I shop at a thrift store. It's called Grandpa. Right. Anyway, so this is President Trump signing executive orders prohibiting funding for schools with COVID-19 vaccine mandates. This is just a minute piece of this, which is just so stupid.
This first executive order, it prohibits federal funding for COVID-19 mandates, vaccine mandates in schools.
Okay, and that will meaning they want to clear that up, the
Yes.
discrepancy.
So any schools that
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, yeah. It's for the discrepancy pandemic that's coming. They got a lot of these places. They haven't got a vaccine against discrepancy. What the hell? How do you not understand? I mean, first of all, this is dipshittery. But how do you not understand what she just said?
executive order, it prohibits federal funding for COVID-19 mandates, vaccine mandates in schools.
So you're saying it prohibits federal funding for COVID vaccine mandates in schools, meaning that it's not going to pay for the mandate. Federal funds won't pay for the COVID-19 vaccine if it's mandated in the school, or federal funds will not go to the school. Never mind. This is all written in fucking crayon. None of them know what they're doing. This is dumb.
Okay, and that will meaning they want to clear that up.
Yes.
The
Yeah, that will meaning they want to clear it up.
discrepancy.
So any schools that require students to be vaccinated with COVID-19 shot, then there's no more federal funding, so.
Okay?
There's no more federal funding. So honestly, I don't. Also, by the way, totally not fucking legal, but whatever.
Okay, that solves that problem.
Yeah, totally. That's good. That'll do it. That's all we need. That solves that problem of what? Federal funding to schools if they have an outbreak of COVID-19 and they want. And by the way, does it distinguish between a COVID-19 vaccine mandate for the kids or the teachers? How about you have a vaccine mandate for the adults and you don't have one for the kids? Does that still count? Nobody gives a shit because they didn't even bother to think it through. I mean, this is all written with crayons and hammers. That solved that problem. I did a stinky poo-poo-poo.
Sir, will the Department of Education have to handle that?
Yes.
What Department of Education? Hey, asshole, real quick. If you shut down the Department of Education, how do you carry this out? How do you make it happen? It's a serious question. Do you write a bill for every single one? Do you have to pass a bill through Congress that denies funding specifically to those schools, or you have to get everybody in the House and the Senate, no matter where they're from, to sign off on a bill that would deny federal funding to schools if you do it straight through the Congress? Jesus.
It'll go through the Department of Education. Okay?
Like shit through a 10-year-old goose.
Thanks.
Can I make one comment, Mr. President?
Yes, please.
As a father of 9, thank you. We should have parental freedom to decide what vaccines our kids take, as opposed to school systems and governors forcing upon the people that love these kids the most, which is the parents. So thank you for citing that.
No. Polio, fuck off. No. And by the way, if you want to do that, then your kid has to wear a fucking pointy hat that says my parents are dumbasses who don't want to vaccinate me. How about that? How about your kids can fucking be homeschooled then? If you care that much about them that you don't want to tell everybody they might be carrying a contagious disease and you kind of don't give a shit if they do, perhaps you tell them to, like, you guys could just straight fuck off.
Great, thank you very much. People wanted that very badly. Okay.
This first
Okay. Yeah, that did it. Okay. Wow. So I think this is the same gathering. And they're doing a bunch of like live footage because they're, by the way, these are, this is what is this? The National Desk? Yeah. So this video is basically released so that maggots and supporters can make like, oh my God, isn't he amazing 100 days videos from just random B-roll. So they just put it all in one place so that they can snag it and use it. It's like that weird smiling footage we saw of Ted Cruz and Mitch McConnell.
Sending out their most healthy.
Hold on.
And they've been hit hard on that, Hamas. So they probably didn't want to release. But obviously they changed their mind. I said 12 o'clock tomorrow, and all of a sudden, 2 days ago, yesterday, they said they're going back to releasing. But this all started by them saying, we are not going to release any more hostages. And then yesterday they said they
No, they didn't.
are going to release the hostages.
All right. Okay, again, maybe he has like one phone call and they called him and hung up or something like that. But insofar as I know, let's just be clear. There was certainly no like thing from Hamas where they're like, we're not releasing anybody else starting now.
But I think they should release all of the hostages.
Wow. Way to take a bold stance.
About 75,000 workers took this deferred resignation. It's a little bit short of the 5 to 10% goal you were hoping to hit. Do you think you'll have to make up the rest of that number in
No,
layoffs?
look, that's 75,000 more than we would have had, and nobody knows what that final number is, because in the end, I think a lot of people aren't going to show up to work. A lot of people, they got
Yeah. What? Sorry. They're not going to take an early retirement. They're just going to like quiet quit their job in the federal government and lose their pension.
used to staying home and quote, working. But, I wonder if they had other jobs or other things. They have a lot of problems with that. No, 75,000 is a lot of people. And we paid them well. We gave them a lot of months of severance pay, if you call it that. But
Yeah.
no, I think you'll probably have some more too, in addition. It's a big, tremendous better. Run it better, but downsize. Yeah, please.
Okay. I don't know why this is as choppy as it is. That's their feed.
That you had a phone call with Keir Starmer
I
yesterday.
did. I just signed a letter to him.
I've been signing all day. I've got it. My little head hurt. I need bagel sopas. I've been signing. They got me all I do is sit here all day and sign things. I feel like an old man whose family's surrounded by him with copies of the will.
He asked for a meeting, and I agreed to the meeting. We're going to have a friendly meeting. Very good. We have a lot of good things going on. But he asked to come and see me, and I just accepted his asking.
Do you have a date for that, Sarah?
Oh, that's adorable. Does it now? If you've accepted his asking, does that mean you bring the flowers, or he does? He wears the corsage and you get the bouquet? All right. I just want to straighten this out.
Very soon. I think he wants to come next week or the week after.
And what do you hope to discuss?
I don't know. It was his
I don't know what he wants to talk about. He's probably going to come over. I don't know. World business, America, UK stuff. I don't probably.
request, not mine. But, I met him twice already. We get along very well. He's a very nice guy. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
That's it. Like, I don't know what he's going to come over here. He asked me if he wants to talk about something. Who knows?
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you, Brian.
Will there be carve-outs, sir?
Thank you, press. Thank
In
you.
the tariffs?
Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you, guys.
So they cut to him like getting off yeah. Ow, thank you. Okay, and there's, look, footage. B-roll of him wandering around. Oh, he just farted. Oh, he's been holding it in, I think. He keeps flapping the coat. It's an odd gait. I mean, I gotta micromanage this dickhead walking around. Hi. Bunch of standing around. Okay, there's that. And he gets in, and he goes, the helicopter takes off. There's got to be some, like, later on. He goes here, and then, okay, this might be the full version of them gathering everybody around at the beginning of that thing. Or is this just this looks like when she just gave him this first one. This is like raw B-roll stuff. They got it.
Thank you very much for being here. We have largely an energy group today. We're looking to be very energy dominant, and we will be in a very short order. These are great professionals, but before we do that, we'll be signing.
Also, I'm not even sure about the guy on the end's name, honestly, but he looks like he's shitting. He's actively shitting. What is this? What is this stance? That's somebody pinching a loaf.
An executive order having to do with COVID and schools. Lindsay?
Yep. So this first executive
Okay.
order.
Yeah, so that's the
it
first one we saw.
Students to be.
All right, we saw that. And then that's,
Yes, please.
oh, and then this bullshit. They did it
Trump
again?
wisely understood.
Okay, so,
Good, thank you.
So this, and here is an
On the people that love these kids the most, which is the parents, so thank you for signing that.
Great, thank you very much. People wanted that very badly. Okay.
Okay, and here is an executive order establishing the National Energy Dominance Council. So
the National Energy Dominance Council. You know, nothing really, helps gloss over the setting up of like boring political committees and gabfests and people sitting around than giving it a big macho fucking name like the National Energy Dominance Council, the ED Council. That's right, the National Erectile Dysfunction Council. Which, by the way, that dude could be the spokesman for. Maybe that's what's happening. Maybe he's turtling right now. We don't know.
that will be chaired by the Secretary of the Interior, Mr. Burgum, and the Vice Chair,
Good.
Chris Wright. And so this will reduce costs with respect to energy.
Oh, will it? You already know? It's going to reduce the cost, guys.
Establish American independence
I mean, I don't even know why you have to sign it. It's already working.
with energy and also unleash energy dominance.
Good, thank you. And this is a big deal. We have more energy than any other country, and now we're unleashing it, to put it nicely.
I'm sorry, is there a filthy way of putting it?
And I'd like to ask,
Also, by the way, this looks like he's wearing a tiny little dum-dum crown. This is a great shot. Whatever this spittoon is on the top of his head, it's fairly hilarious. I mean, it does. I'm wearing my thinking crown. It's a crown.
Doug, you're going to be heading it up. You and Chris, would you say a few words about it, please?
Yeah, absolutely, sir.
Because I don't have any idea what this is.
Good afternoon. President Trump wisely understood that under the Biden administration,
In his grace and in his ever-flowing and abiding wisdom.
there was a war against American energy, and today that war officially has ended.
Boom, done. Well, that was easy. I'm going to go fill up my car for free.
President Trump on day one declared a national energy emergency.
Right, because he's trying to get around actually having to legislate anything by declaring everything a fucking emergency. Doesn't mean it is one. It doesn't mean it'll solve it. Again, if somebody has a dietary issue, declaring that they are having a cardiac emergency does not change their nutritional habits over time. So, cool. Call it whatever you want.
And this is a real emergency because under the Biden administration restricted the
Oh, you mean the fact that we produce more oil under the Biden administration than we ever have?
production of oil and gas. Production's still coming, but when you stop holding leases, when you take 625 million acres of land out of ocean land, out of production possibilities.
Ocean land? Taking ocean land out of production? Ocean land. Cool. Is that a new, oil slick related theme park off the coast of North Carolina?
Through an executive order, you're really restricting the balance sheet of America. But today, as President Trump said, this is unleashed. The National Energy Dominance Council will be
I'm sorry, just the National ED Council. It's pretty sweet.
made up. All the folks that are standing beside me here, other cabinet leaders and many more, represent President Trump's wise decision that we need a whole.
Is he wise? It's in his great wisdom, though, in his wiseness and his all-powerful wiseness. Apparently, wise is the word you need to use. Smart obviously doesn't work, and you like wise because he's old. Is that what you're saying? Wizened?
of government approach to unwind.
Or Donald is now known Gandalf the
The
piss-colored.
Biden administration had a whole-of-government approach that had the war against U.S. energy. Now we need to turn that around 180 degrees and unleash that potential. We've got to unleash it from the Gulf of America all the way up to Alaska. We have amazing resources in this country, and we have
And who needs fresh water?
to be getting a return on them. Many of these are under public lands. The interior has 500 million acres of surface, 700 million acres of subsurface minerals, critical minerals, and offshore close to 2 billion acres. And that balance sheet is the biggest balance sheet in the world, and it's been completely underutilized. Everybody knows we have 36 trillion in debt.
Well, I would argue we use it a lot for like drinking water and fishing. Yeah. I mean, we do use it. We just don't use it for sludge.
As a country, but no one knows how many hundreds of trillions of dollars of assets we have, and President Trump is asking.
Well, you're assuming that we have them then. If nobody knows, then they also might not know that there's nothing in these places. Right? I mean, don't let that stop you from leaking, toluene and benzene and fucking cyanide and mercury or whatever the shit you guys are digging up looking for oil.
To go get a return on that investment for the American people. And with
A return on investment. Wait a minute. Investment sounds like an expenditure. A return on that potential, I guess, would mean that you think there's oil down there, but the return on the investment means that you better strike oil everywhere you dig, motherfucker.
that, we're going to have prosperity at home with lower prices, and we're also going to have peace abroad, because the wars that we've been engaged in, or our allies have been fighting over the past few years, have been funded by the oil sales of our adversaries. And so we have an opportunity, and we also are in
Sorry, you mean the Houthis and like Hamas fighting Israel? Like, again, all of these actions by the Houthis and by the Hamas probably, I mean, you could, I don't know, all in less than $300 million.
an AI arms race with China. The only way we win that is with more electricity. And we also have an energy emergency in terms of electricity. Too much intermittent, unreliable, not enough base load. We've been shutting down the base
But enough about Texas.
load that we have. President Trump is going to reverse that, and it's going to allow us to win the AI arms race, which is the most important thing.
So I guess this is the one and only meeting of the Energy Dominance Council. I guess this is. I mean, what else do you need to do? Apparently, you've already. What are you counseling about? This just seems like a predetermined outcome. Do you guys get paid for being on this council? Is there like an extra stipend?
Thing that we have to do relative to our future. So with that, I want to say again, thank you to President Trump, and I want to thank my fellow members of the Energy Council here. I'm going to kick it over to the Vice Chair, Chris Wright, who's the Secretary of the Department of Energy.
Thank you, Secretary Burgum. Today is truly a great day for our country today.
Yeah. Oh, today is it? Is today a great day for our country today? I was so happy to hear that. I don't know if that's the case, but I've heard that today is a great day for our country today.
Thank you, Secretary Burgum. Today is truly a great day for our country today.
Yeah. I mean, you can't you can't argue with that. Tonight I'm going to rock you tonight,
Secretary Burgum laid out so many of the problems the last 4 years. If you put barriers in front of energy, you make it more expensive, you make it less reliable, you make it harder to do business here, and harder for our consumers to pay their bills. With this fantastic action from our president, we now have authority across the government to lean in to fix these problems.
I'm sorry, the council has real power as opposed to being direct, like Secretary of the Interior and Energy Secretary. You got real power because what? You Wonder Twin powers activate?
And I'll start out with one specific right away. This morning,
Excellent.
I signed our first LNG export license, unpausing the pause.
Today or today? Just today. Also, I guess you did this before this council began, so That's exactly my point. What the fuck is this?
action. The Commonwealth LNG.
Sorry, this is a good question. Like, maybe you guys know. So, is there a rule against, like, secretaries of different departments meeting regularly when their duties maybe overlap? So much so that you have to create a farcical erectile dysfunction council for them, so they can book a conference room on Wednesdays? They can't officially do it unless they get a pass.
LNG project that'll be on the Gulf Coast in Louisiana is now officially ready to go. This will be a large construction project for American workers. It'll draw demand for more American energy production that'll be shipped overseas to our allies.
Well, I think it will. I think if you're opening up an LNG terminal or a well, you're increasing supply. Demand remains to be seen, I suppose. I mean, I guess you're counting that you can sell it and use it someplace. Why? What about America first? Why wouldn't you zero out the cost of American natural gas so that Americans pay, I don't know, pennies on the dollar, right? Since you got a bunch of it. How about, is there some sort of America first dibs idea about this? No, you're just helping big companies sell more LNG that they're taking off the coast of fucking Louisiana and sell it to Europe. And?
Many more of those to come. We're also working aggressively to roll back standards that have made appliances more expensive for Americans, and dishwashers
Oh, you mean the ones that keep them from exploding? Sure.
that take 2 hours long and don't get your dishes clean.
Again, what the fuck are you talking about? This is him just sucking up to Trump. This is Trump's big fucking thing. Like, I don't know what the fuck, like, maybe here, I don't want to tell you your business, but you do realize that in the door of most dishwashers, there's a little flap that pops back, especially when it's been done. And you take those little, you take some detergent or one of those little pods and you put that in there and you close it before you start the dishwasher. It might help get the dishes clean. Maybe that's the problem. Not the amount of water, maybe it's the lack of detergent.
Nobody likes that. That's about standing in the way.
Nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about except Trump.
And with this President Trump and our new National Energy Dominance Council, there's so...
Sorry, you guys just formed a National Energy Dominance Council, and you're talking about how much water is used in a dishwasher. For real. You're an idiot. How are you not embarrassed by this? I mean, I know they have to suck up to him, and this is something he's been bitching about. And so if you throw this in, he'll think, he's doing a good job. This is a big one.
So many things we can do to make American lives better, bring down costs, and grow opportunities. And with that, I'm going to kick it over to a fellow member of the council, our administrator of the EPA, Lee Zeldin.
Thank you, Secretary, and honored to be serving on the Energy Dominance Council at
Good Lord.
EPA. We're doing our part to power the great American comeback. And President Trump has made it clear that he wants EPA to be doing our job to ensure that we are unleashing energy dominance however we can help, that we are...
By what? Not guarding water and air?
Assisting in making America the AI capital of the world, that we are pursuing...
Sorry, why would, well, I guess Environmental Protection Agency would, you're just going to stop protecting the environment from these, from, I guess, the coal plants he wants to attach to AI factories, what he calls them?
Reform, that we're helping to bring back American auto jobs. This is the mandate of the American public. The Trump mandate, it was clear.
75 to 78, it's not a clear mandate at all. It's narrow in the House and pretty small in the Senate, so simmer the fuck down. If you watched a basketball game and the score was 78-75, you'd go, one three-pointer. You wouldn't go, Jesus, they got their ass handed to them.
And the guidance from President Trump to me when he asked me, thankfully, for the opportunity for us.
He asked you for the opportunity? How very nice.
To be able to serve together in partnership to unleash energy dominance, this is a moment that we must meet. To that end, it is...
Yipes. Dude, enough with the refrigerator poetry. You said energy dominance. You said, you know, Trump and whatever, and thank you to him. Just shut the fuck up.
It's important to note that the prior Biden-Harris EPA issued a waiver to California for tailpipe emissions. This was a rule that should have been submitted to Congress. We will submit it to Congress. Congress will have the opportunity through the Congressional Review Act to make that waiver go away. We will do everything in our part to help the American people to make life in America more affordable.
Oh, so fuck states' rights is what he's saying, by the way. I just want to be clear. So they're going to try and get a fuck states' rights, you know, amendment of this particular thing through the Congress.
The golden age of American success is upon us. If you're excited about the last 3 weeks, that was...
No. Dude, he's not even excited about the last 3 weeks. He's still pissed he won.
Just a taste of the main event, the entree to come, the next 4 years being the greatest term in the history of the American presidency. With that, I'd like to introduce Sean Duffy.
Thank you. So, first of all, thank you for the work on dishwashers. We use more water to
Are you running one right now?
wash our dishes before we put them in the trash.
That's right.
We're not saving water, we're using more water, so thank you for that. But I'm also joining the EPA. We've introduced...
Okay, for real, what the fuck is that noise? What is happening in the background? Did they just roll in like a piece of shit dishwasher and plug it in?
Our rule is to start to look at the CAFE standards. So we're looking at how much it costs for end users when they put gas in their car. And the Biden era...
Well said, yeah. I mean, you're a man after Greg Kelly's heart. Right.
Standards are costing billions of dollars in taxes and carbon credits, which drive up the cost of vehicles. And so we're going to
Bring back asthma and pollution.
remedy that, rectify it, and make sure we're bringing down the cost of a car, number one. Number two, if I could just mention, Mr. President, per your direction, we are...
Also, the CAFE standards are necessary if you're going to sell those cars in Europe or if you're going to sell them anywhere else. They're allowed to keep those standards. They don't even fall under Trump's tariff bullshit. So they can still have those standards. And if we don't live up to them, you're not going to sell any of these cars anyway. So basically, you're just going to try and set your standards to match the highest standard anybody sets. And America doesn't even have the highest standards. It's just stupid.
We're going to move forward with a permitting process for the Texas Gulf Link deep water port, making sure we can move energy in and out of the country. So that was held up for 5 years. And it was stonewalled, bureaucrats got in the way. We're now going to move forward with that, making sure we have
Yeah, it'll be done in a week.
great oil infrastructure in the country.
Great, thanks. Great
And
job.
Howard Lutnick?
Yes.
So, the nanny state, you're feeling the end of the nanny state. From straws made of paper to regulation endlessly harming Americans and holding us back.
Yeah, nothing harms a child like a nanny that cares. Also, I got to tell you, these guys seem like they're all like team nanny for Trump.
It slows down our production and manufacturing, which we
How?
were talking about with the Prime Minister of India yesterday. You're hearing that about energy dominance. It's going to go away. We're going to care about Americans. The Trump administration and this president cares about Americans, and you're going to feel it change. You're going to feel the price of energy coming down.
Yeah, you're going to feel the infection in your lungs. You're going to feel the noxious chemicals on your skin and the burning sensation that goes with them. You're going to feel the toxicity in your water.
You're going to feel prices coming down. You're going to feel an
I'm going to feel prices coming down? Sorry, what is this, an appeal to emotion? Look, it may not look like prices are coming down, and prices may not come down, but you're going to feel like they have. Jesus Christ. This is him trying to put out the fire that MAGA's like, what the fuck is with eggs?
Explosion, the golden age of manufacturing of America has always been there. It's just been stifled by regulation, and that time is over.
Thank you very much, Howard. Please.
Mr. President, I just want to say that you've built such an incredible team, and Secretary.
You don't feel like you want to wait until they actually do something before you assert that? Maybe meet up in 6 months and go, wow, what a great team. Or you can just go, yeah, we just gave them the right to co-sign memos.
Secretary and Chairman Burgum, that he's been working on this his whole life. And so what I expect you to see, sir, is action
Really? That seems a little obsessive.
as early as next week that is going to shock people about how good it is for Americans. And so thank
Yeah, it may suck right now, but next week, holy shit, you guys are going to be happy.
you for your leadership, sir.
Thank you very much, Kevin. We are also working on a project that has been under wraps for 20 years. Everybody wanted it.
Oh boy, here we go. Everybody wanted it, so let me guess, Biden passed it last year or 2 years ago?
It's been held up by New York. It's
What? Oh shit! He's not going to put the. He's going to put the Statue of Liberty in a bikini, isn't he?
a pipeline that will bring down the energy prices in New York and in all of New England by 50, 60, 70%. It should have been done years ago.
Yeah, I'm going to guess they started to, and they looked at how cold it got, and they recognized that the chances of a LNG or an energy pipeline and it cracking open wouldn't necessarily, is not a good mix.
We'll be speaking to New York, and the New York is actually the biggest beneficiary because their energy costs are very high. This will reduce them very substantially.
Uh-huh.
But all of the governors want this to happen.
All of them? Really? New Mexico's really fighting for this one, for a big northeastern pipeline that nobody asked for?
And I think it's going to happen. It's now going to happen. It's
all right, you think it is or it is? I guess it is. I just say it is. Fuck it.
Something that's would
Let me guess, going to be very special.
rather not have to go eminent domain. We'll do that if we have to in New York, but hopefully.
Holy shit. Fuck you, you won't. You get eminent domain. You just start seizing American land for a fucking LNG pipeline? Knock yourself out, buddy. Good luck in the courts for the... You want to slow this whole fucking process down? I don't know, run it off the fucking coast. What's wrong with you?
We won't have to do that. This again will bring...
Why people are just going to go, take my farm. Fuck me, I don't care. It's for America.
Down energy prices in New England.
Well, not America, obviously a consortium of natural gas companies that are mostly headquartered in Qatar, but
England by numbers that nobody can even believe.
You're right, I don't believe them.
Probably 50, 60%, maybe even more than that.
Probably 100%, probably 110%. Probably they'll be, people will have so much natural gas just spewing all over their farms and into their windows and stuff that they'll be asking the government to come down and say, take away some of this natural gas, I've got too much of it.
A lot of them don't even pay energy because they have no energy. They use logs. They go out and they cut down a tree.
What? Who? Who does?
Nobody can even believe. Probably 50, 60%, maybe even more than that. A lot of them don't even pay energy because they have no energy. They use logs. They go out and they cut down a tree. It's really a terrible situation.
What? Yeah. Who are you talking about? Like the Unabomber followers? Like, what the fuck? People who live off the grid and don't want gas run to their house?
So we're going to get this done, and we can have it done once we start.
Oh, they're gonna have so much gas. Forget about it. Oh my God. Some of them don't even, they just drop, they don't even do this. They come in there and they drop a log.
Captain's log.
Construction, we're looking at anywhere from 9 to 12 months, if you can believe it. It's going to go very...
Yeah, nothing makes me, I think people feel safer than a quickly slapped together gas pipeline.
Very rapidly. The other thing I'd like Doug to mention, the 635 million acres that Biden so viciously took out of
Vicious.
our
He was like foaming at the mouth going, ah, as he signed it.
net worth. If you look at it from the standpoint of a company, you talk about net worth. They've destroyed our net worth. We're putting it back. It will be back as of this afternoon. And Doug, could you mention that? All of the millions and millions of acres that he just handed back to
Yes,
nobody.
the
Handed back to nobody.
executive order by President Biden that wiped out these trillions from our balance sheet.
Alleged billions that you're not even sure are there. Also, by the way, food, water, I don't know, sailing, leisure boats, shipping beyond the, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I love the idea of there being a shit ton of oil rigs off the coast of South Carolina and Florida and North Carolina, just fucking up the view all you want. At least they're not those awful windmills. I mean, if you look at a windmill, you're like, ugh, but if you look at an oil rig, it's just so, it looks so majestic, you know, with the rusty railings and the weird machineries and the looped up things and the dudes falling off into the ocean and being eaten by sharks. I mean, it's a wonder of nature, really.
President Trump signed an executive order instructing me as the Secretary of Interior to unban that ban, and that's been accomplished. And so those
Until there's a lawsuit, then of course.
are back on the U.S. balance sheet.
Okay.
Sorry, which one is that?
The 625 million acres of offshore that was banned from further lease sales.
Further anything.
And
You couldn't even-
625 million acres is
Right.
1/3 the size of the lower 48 that was taken off our balance sheet. It's back on there now. President Trump cares about the American people. He knows that these public lands belong to the public. They don't belong to Washington bureaucrats from the.
Yeah, but you're leasing them to oil companies, and I think if they belong to the people, I mean, maybe the people want the fish that comes out of those waters and not have to worry about whether they're toxic. Maybe they want to actually sail on those waters, or I don't know, just boat in those waters without worry, or they just want to fucking look out off the coast and not see a fucking oil rig. Maybe that.
Prior administration, and we're going to make sure that we get a return on investment for the American people.
He's saying that return on investment shit a lot. Well, first of all, we're not making the investment. We're just handing it over to somebody else. They're making the investment, and whether or not there's something there remains to be seen. This is business speak to make everybody like on the right feel like these assholes know what they're doing. They're basically, it's like they have a little thesaurus of business phrases that they're tossing about.
The amount of money that he took off our balance sheet, if you look at a balance sheet, it was incalculable. Nobody's ever seen anything like it, and he did that.
Really? Nobody's ever seen anything like it? You should patent that phrase. You should trademark it. I would say that a
But
lot.
I guess in the last few days of the administration, he just wiped it out. 635 million acres, which if you sit down and look, it's like, that's a major part of the ocean.
No, it isn't. No, compared to the ocean overall, it's pretty small, dummy.
And he just gave it away and took it away, and fortunately,
He gave it away and took it away and give it away, give it away, give it away now, give it away, give it away. Why can't you let me drill for oil in the ground?
it wasn't done with an act of Congress or anything, and we did it in a, I think, very abbreviated, very quick, and very legal procedure.
You think?
And it's now back on our balance sheet. It's back as part of our country. What they did was so horrible. It was just
What do you think he did? Gave it to Canada or Greenland?
a terrible thing to do, an unbelievable thing to do. Also, they mentioned dishwashers, and
They did. It's true. They did bring that up. I think they were kind of doing that as like a Valentine's Day gift to you.
sinks and showers and the whole thing.
No, I just said dishwashers. He blew off the whole sinks and showers thing.
We're going to get rid of those restrictions. You have many places where they have water. They have so much water they don't know what to do with it.
I think they know what to do with it. I think you either drink it, wash your car with it, take showers with it, or leave it alone, fish in it.
But people buy a house, they turn on the sink and water barely comes out. They take a shower, water barely comes out. And it's an unnecessary restriction. And basically,
Oh, it's terrible, especially in states where there's a drought year round. Yeah, I agree.
I think that we're going to be going back to the Trump.
You think? Hold on, he's choking on his spit again.
And it's an unnecessary restriction. And basically, I think that we're going to be going back
I think.
to the Trump rule. We had it, and everybody was happy. And then these people came in and they restricted it again. So,
Sorry, these are on the actual devices that are made. So it's not like they all changed their standards. What model year is this faucet? This is a 2021. No, I want the Trump years. That's the really good one. What the fuck are you talking about?
we're going back, and we'll get it approved by Congress. In addition, we'll get
Yeah, you'll do that. It's basically, just go back to the thing that existed before, that didn't exist before, that you made up.
it approved by Congress. So for 4 years, it's good, but we're going to get it permanently taken care of. And again, very environmentally friendly. But we want to be able to, when somebody turns on a sink to wash their hands or presses the button for a dishwasher,
Yeah, that button.
and there's
The one button.
barely enough water there's no water.
There's no water. There is no water. You push the button, and you hear a noise inside it. There's no water. None of it's coming out on the floor. I don't know where it goes. You know, sometimes in the middle of the dishwasher running, some water comes out, like comes in the sink and then goes back down. I don't know what the fuck's going on over there. And you push the button, he makes all this noise. Then you open it up. There's no water in the thing. Couple of drips, and now everything's clean. I don't even know what the fuck's going on.
And you know what they do? They press the button 10 times.
They maybe they're turning it off. Maybe push it an odd number of times. 1, it's on. Push it twice, it might turn it off, cancel it. So if you hit it 3 times, it would be back on. 4 would turn it. 5 will turn it back on. You know what I mean? Maybe the 10th time is what's fucking them up.
They run it 10 times, so it ends up.
They don't run it 10 times. I mean, I don't know anybody who runs it. Like, and if it's twice, it's because you didn't run it for a week and everything's crusty, I suppose. But even still, maybe try some detergent.
Costing a lot more. So I know you're working on that, and
Yeah, he's totally working on it. He's got a fucking wrench. He's the new Maytag repairman. He's taking over for Gordon Jones.
where are we on that?
We're working closely with the Department of Energy.
We're on that thing you just mentioned. We're kicking ass.
With regards to rules that were enacted during the Biden administration inside of the EPA, we are overhauling the water sense standards that are there to update them for the American people, to bring down cost of living and combat inflation, and just pursue common.
What? Sorry. Why would something using more water to get the job done, if it can use less water to get the job done, why would that improve costs? Wouldn't that make costs go up? You'll just be, like, your water bill will go up, right? How the...
Sense.
Good. Well, we have more oil and gas than anybody else in the world.
Yes, you do.
We're opening up ANWR again. As you know, we got something. Ronald Reagan couldn't do it. No president was able to do it. I got it. And the first week in office, the Biden administration terminated that. ANWR is the biggest site, probably bigger than Saudi Arabia. We don't know yet, but...
Yeah, we don't know yet. But, hey, what could be better than just going up there, sending some guys up there where the Valdez was, and just start drilling holes. See what the fuck happens. Maybe you'll get lucky and strike lava.
It's of that size or bigger.
Or smaller. Or a lot smaller.
And we hit gold, and I call it...
You struck gold?
Liquid gold, but we hit gold, and for whatever reason, they terminated.
You hit, wait a minute, no, there wasn't even any exploration up there yet, stupid. You didn't find fucking oil up there. What are you talking about?
It, and we were just ready to start utilizing it.
No, you weren't.
This could take care of all of Asia, energy-wise.
Oh, great, so America second after Asia, gotcha.
Very close to Japan. In fact,
Because it's right there.
Japan wants to go and be our partner in doing the pipeline going right into the ships. So they expressed tremendous interest. So did Prime Minister Modi of India. And just in closing, both Prime Minister Modi and the Prime Minister of Japan, both very good people.
Cool. Thanks. Yeah. In closing, I'm glad you added that in there because we were wondering if you thought they were decent human beings. I mean, you know decency. You were friends with Jeffrey Epstein for 2.5 decades.
He said we couldn't make a deal. We couldn't get any energy. I mean, you wonder what was going on with our country. They couldn't make a deal to get any energy from the Biden administration.
What do you? First of all, oil and gas is. It's sold at market value. The United States doesn't control who oil and gas companies sell to in particular. They can stop it from some places for, for sanction reasons, like you can't, sell it to an enemy state or something like that. But they just wanted to get a break. In exchange for what? Building a tower with Biden's likeness on it?
They just couldn't do it. There was nobody to deal with. They didn't know how to go about it.
Really? They didn't have a phone book or?
And they're very happy that we're here, but we're going to really benefit.
Because nobody would answer the phone? He was always on the phone with Ukraine or somebody.
Our taxpayers, and we're going to benefit our country. So I want to thank everybody for coming. This is a very big bill. This is really going to be energy.
It's not a bill. It's not a bill, stupid. It's not an act. It's not a bill. It hasn't been passed through Congress. You're creating a commission. Simmer down. Presidents do this all the time. This is the kind of like political blather that most people, Jesus Christ, like all presidents create, like we're going to take a look at it. We're going to form a commission or put a group together to study the impacts of what we could do to make blah, blah, blah. Like that's what they always do. Why is this special?
Dominant. We're going to be energy dominant like nobody else. And
well, I mean, technically dominant. That's what it kind of means.
This doesn't even discuss all of the electricity that we're going to be producing for
really
all of the AI plants. They need double the electricity at least that we have right now. So you take all of.
No, they don't. Yeah, not anymore. That ship has sailed. What you mean is Elon Musk wants a bunch of energy for his little crypto farms. That's what that's for.
For our electricity that we have all over the country, just for AI to do it right.
Jesus Christ. Old news, nope.
Right, and to win that war, which we're leading by a lot because of what we've done over the last few weeks. We're leading.
Yeah, AI really took off in the last 3 weeks.
By actually a lot, but.
Really? By a lot? What's the benchmark now? You know all about it. Tell us. What's the benchmark in AI that they've really, that where we've just leapt ahead?
You take all of it. We have to double our electricity needs just for the AI, and that doesn't include the other technologies.
Yeah, obviously, you're running all those speak and spells and Xboxes.
So it's a real honor to sign this bill. We're gonna.
It's not a bill. It's not a bill.
Also work on cafe standards. Lee, you're going to be doing that and make that whole situation, bring that back into reality, and I think very quickly, having to do with cars. Thank you.
I see. Okay, so good. I was worried that cafe standards were about actual cafes. I was like whether or not you get a, pain au chocolat with a cafe au lait automatically, or what. I don't know what the standards are these days. There's so many moving parts.
Thank you very much. No, but in 2 weeks we will have another one. Yesterday was very big. Reciprocal tariffs was very big, and I explained to the Prime Minister of India, Prime Minister Modi, very good man, his tariffs are very, very high. India's tariffs are among the highest. And I said, well, now, we were very low. We were the lowest. They're just about the highest. There are others as high, but not much higher.
Hold on. Shall we? Can I even begin to take a look at some of this shit? Okay, sorry. India tariffs on U.S. goods. I don't know, compared to whatever. Let's see. As of now, whoops, hold on. Let me try to shrink this down. Let's see. Let's see. Trump calls India a great friend, but warns of U.S. higher tariffs. Okay, Donald Trump's what it means for India. Okay, the India. Here's what you need to know about U.S.-India trade in 4 charts. Oh, I love charts. Oh, I love me some charts. Okay, where things stand. India is more reliant on the U.S. for trade. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Largest trading partner for India is the U.S. 119 billion. China's next at 118 billion. UAE is at 83. Is a quick drop off there. Largest trading partner for the U.S. They're 10th. So they're down there. Mexico's number 1. So if you're wondering why the 25%, that's why he went for them right away, is because he felt like that's the biggest chunk of money coming in specifically. Yeah. China at 582, and all right. 129. Note India's most recent data is from their fiscal year 2023 through March 2024. With Trump planning to impose 25%, the ultimate India both want to enhance. U.S. trade deficit with India has grown because we're buying more stuff from them because we're buying less from China. U.S. imports from India accounted for about 2.7% of all imported goods. Yowza. The trade deficit between the U.S. has been widening. The U.S. is importing 45 billion more from India than it exported there. But, all right. Again, what comes in, it goes out. U.S. counts pearls, semi-precious stones, pharmaceutical products, and electrical equipment among their top imports from India. In 2023, imports of the top 5 products going from the India to U.S. total 147 billion. Pearls and semi-precious stones, what we're getting from there. Electrical machinery and equipment, pharmaceuticals, that's one of the big things we're moving here. That's just 10 billion. That seems very small. What India gets from us, mineral fuels and oils, pearls and stones, I guess it's a fair trade. Nuclear reactors, all right, well, good for us. We're giving them those and not having them here. Electrical machinery and equipment, lenses, microscopes, and medical instruments. That's the big $12 billion in mineral fuels and oil. I don't know, the rest of it is just consumer goods, I suppose. So stupid.
And I said, no, from now on, what we do is what you charge us, we charge you. It's very simple. So whatever you're charging us, you can go as high as you want. Whatever you charge us, we charge you. And I wouldn't say they were thrilled to hear that, but that's the way it is. Tariff, I told you, is a beautiful word. 4th most beautiful.
Did you make any pledges about BRICS nations not undermining the dollar? You had threatened
Yeah. BRICS, the BRICS nations, I think that's breaking up very rapidly. We said that if they're going to go and do anything to undermine the dollar, that includes China. I don't even know that they're a member of BRICS, but they had a few nations.
To be Brazil and Russia. I think there's a C in there somewhere. I don't know what the C stands for. Probably Canada, those assholes.
Get together to try and play cute. And I said, we're going to put 100% tariff on every one of those nations. And
So you're going to put 100% tariff on China?
At the mere thought of saying that, I think that's all broken up. That idea has no longer sailed. Now, that would be a terrible thing.
That idea has no longer sailed. Okay, sure.
For our country, it would be bad for the world. They wanted to undermine the dollar. 6 nations got together. They want to undermine the dollar.
It's more than that, but sure. It's Mooney Girl, you think it's Cambodia? Yeah.
That didn't work out too well. Not going to happen. And we're getting along with a lot of nations now, frankly. There's a lot of respect for the United States. We have regained the respect that we should have, but we've also done things to deserve it. I mean, we've freed up our country, and you're going to see this is basically energy.
Yes, we've freed up our country to not use so much water in our dishwashers we don't even need detergent.
Dominance, and it's going to be environmentally clean, environmentally wonderful, and
Yeah, environmentally wonderful. Just ask the guy from the EPA who's like, we're going to roll back standards because fuck this.
Taxes will be very reasonable based on this. We're going to make more money than anybody's ever made with energy. We have more energy than anybody else, and it's clean energy, very clean, beautiful.
Yeah, it's clean coal, clean oil, the cleanest oil you have ever seen. Clean natural gas.
Energy. We're lucky. We have it. I call it liquid gold under our feet, and we're going to utilize
Yeah, we know. It's very silly.
it. So this is a very big bill, and I have a very talented group of people.
It's not a bill. Still not a bill. Not a bill at all.
Behind me, this gentleman was the #1 man in all of the oil industry. They said there's nobody like him, Chris Wright. And you know Doug actually made
Yeah, so they told me this. So if these guys fuck up and this doesn't work out, it's on them.
a tremendous fortune in technology, and he said, I'm going to run for the governorship of, he loves his state, of North Dakota.
Yeah, which was, obviously it's a big deal considering the, 600,000 people that live in that
He
state.
did, and he made it so energy powerful that I think you're more
Sorry, what else do they have besides duck hunting and moose?
proficient in energy than technology, but what do I know? And this guy,
Very little.
everybody knows him, Sean. He's been, he's done a fast study on transportation, and he knows, he's learned a lot over the last few
Really? Has he?
months. He's learned a lot. He's really been great. And Howard has built one of the great companies, Cantor Fitzgerald. It was wiped out, completely wiped out, other than a few people left in Europe. And he rebuilt the company into a bigger, better company. Cantor Fitzgerald is one of the most, absolutely one of the top companies on Wall Street, stocks, bonds, trading. And he took that, he literally watched the plane go into the building, go into the World Trade Center. Amazing story. That alone is an amazing story. He was delayed because his wife insisted that he finally, after years, take his child to school. So he took his child to school that one day, because normally he would have been in the building at 6 o'clock in the morning. That's that business, right? So
Yeah, that's hilarious how you dodged dying on 9/11. It's like a little family chuckle we have.
owe your wife a lot and your child a lot, right? But his wife insisted that he take his child to school. For 5 years, he didn't do it. He was horrible. What kind of a father was he? Okay, I'll do it. And he was therefore driving down at 8:43, whatever the time was, down the West Side Highway, and he saw the plane go into the side of the building. He said, wow. And he occupied the top 3 floors of the World Trade Center, of the one building of the World Trade Center. And
Really? Was he just a squatter?
And you know what happened there? He lost 100% of the people in that,
This is just gross.
his whole company was there. And he rebuilt his company step by step over years and became bigger and stronger. And he gave a tremendous amount of the profit to the families of the people that died, which he didn't have to do. And now he's working.
And I would not have done.
With us. He did an incredible job. I mean, anybody in that world, they know Howard Lutnick very well, and I'm honored to have him running Commerce. He's going to be incredible. He loves the country. And Lee was a great lawyer, a great congressman, very
Until he was nearly stabbed with a key ring by one of his own supporters while he was running for governor.
successful person,
He literally dweebed his way out of the governorship.
both as a lawyer and as a congressman, and knows a lot about the environment, cares about the environment, and
Well, says who?
we were lucky that, I was very happy that you joined, and he was with me right from the beginning, always was with me, and I've always been with him. And Kevin Hassett, we know, everybody knows Kevin, and he's fantastic. And you and Lindsay, you and your team are incredible. The job you've done, we really appreciate it. Thank Will, and the job you guys are doing is really fantastic. We're knocking this out. Brian, do you have a question?
I actually do. I want, what,
Yeah, he goes straight to the to Marjorie Taylor Greene's main squeeze. That dude. who lost his job at RSBN. I don't know where does anybody know where he works now? Is he at Real America's Voice now?
My interest is growing up on the Texas Gulf Coast, natural gas, the LNG that you mentioned.
Yeah.
What's the potential for like new jobs or growth in that area?
Oh, it's going to be nuts. Oh my God. So many jobs, and energy will go down, and there'll be more people working and more free time, and the water will be cleaner and more full of oil than ever before.
I mean, 'cause that part of the country, Southwest Louisiana, Southeast Texas, they depend on that.
Oh, I would say that potential is simply tremendous. You know,
The potential is simply tremendous. Simply in deference to the president.
20 years ago, the United States was the biggest importer of natural gas in the world. And we had natural gas prices 2 or 3 times higher than they are today. But
Oh, so they've come down? So during the last 4 years, and probably during the Obama administration, they came down as well?
with shale revolution and great entrepreneurs in Texas and Louisiana and across our great country, we are now today the largest net exporter of natural gas in the world. And so
That's so weird. And it all happened in the last 3 weeks. It's just incredible.
much of the world is depending upon natural gas is the fastest growing energy source, has been for 50 years.
Yeah, because it pollutes less than oil, and that's why we've been moving away from it. So, yeah, it's a mitigatory fuel.
We were the driver of that, and then we paused. We stopped our ability to grow natural gas exports.
No.
Both the Japanese government and Indian government expressed great distress about that. They're going to count on energy imports from the U.S., and we may just change our mind. So I think they're thrilled to see the actions
We may just change our mind.
of this president. Say America's open for business. Yes, we have the energy, we have the people, we have huge job opportunities.
Oh, I see what you mean. I'm sorry. I lost it. You haven't divested yourself from your oil holdings and your gas holdings. I see. Okay, sorry. I was confused. I thought for a second that once he took this job, he actually stopped, benefiting from oil and gas sales. I'm sorry. Now, okay, this is right.
And investment opportunities, not just in the oil and gas industry, but all those surrounding communities that are lifted up by that more production here. And as we produce
Yeah, all those cancer clusters we're missing out on.
more production at scale, not only does it allow us to export, but it becomes more efficient, and it helps us drive down the cost for our domestic consumers as well.
Yeah, I know the
Yeah, why would that be? If you got two giant markets like India and Japan, and they want to buy the excess, why would that drive the price down? Huh? Who's that?
He's crying.
Who? Chippos, what are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? Come here. Sorry, one moment. Chippos, what are you doing, buddy?
I don't know.
Aw, hold on. I gotta switch chat room. We can't. Hold on. Where's your buddy? Chippos, what's your buddy doing? What are you doing, buddy? Hi. What's he doing? What are you crying about, Mr. Man? Come here, you. Come here. Stinky butt. Come here. Oh, it's a stinky butt. Mm-hmm. He just like, it's Chippers. It's Chippers. That's a boy. What are you doing? What were you doing, buddy? Were you crying? He was outside the door, apparently. Whining like a little boy. What you doing? Poor Chip. He's a chunk, I know. He's also folded in half, so it makes him look. It's not a very flattering angle. He's a big boy. Yeah, he's a panda posing as a kitty cat with the body of a sea lion. That's a boy. How's that boy? How's that boy? How's he doing? You want a snack? That's what's up. You're like, there you go. Mm-hmm. There you go. Go for it. Snack time.
He's spooked. Something has spooked him today.
Uh-huh.
He's
He's nervous today. Something's up.
What's happening?
He's been like,
Timid.
yeah, yeah. It's very touchy.
Yeah.
Love you.
Love you.
That was a nice break, don't you think? From that ridiculousness. Chip's gonna get a snack now, I think. That'd be good. All right, let's see what the rest of this dipshit is talking about.
really Thank you, because I grew up in that area.
Thank you, Brian. Say
Have a
this, that
chip hair.
this all started 8 years ago when I got elected. We were doing this, not to the extent that we're doing it now, but we were doing this, and we became number one in oil and gas by far. And we were number three, even number four, some would say. When I left, we were number one by a lot. And then they pulled way back, and the prices started going through the roof. And then they went back to my plan, but by that time, the prices had already gone up, so they really...
Yeah, because nothing else happened in the first year of the Biden presidency. There was nothing else really going on. It was pretty much run of the mill. I mean, we might as well, might as well have been like, the mid-90s.
We disrupted it, but now we're going to take it to a new level. It's going to be amazing.
Toxic, I think is the word you're looking for.
And we're also, it's very powerful, clean coal. We have more coal than anybody. This is good, beautiful, clean coal. And if you know,
Blue anthracite.
notice China's opening up a coal plant a month. Germany.
Yeah, no, that's an old. These are old talking points from like 3 years ago.
Is now opening up a coal plant.
Oh yeah, look at this. I'm covered in this. Hold on, I didn't realize. Yeah, appreciate it. With the chip, this was a. Hold on, chip leaves a lot of marker behind. You can. There's no way to get away with it. By the way, get ready, ladies. Here comes. It's my OnlyFans. What's happening? How you doing? You all right? What's going on? Yes. There you go. Kind of. There's still one. Look at that. Okay. I think I got most of it. That's fine. All right. You're welcome. And I should have 100,000 subscribers just for that. Hello.
2 months. Very powerful. It's probably the most powerful source of energy in terms of generation of electricity and other things. And we're going
Yeah, sure. Yeah, coal's the best. It's you really can't get any better than that. Nuclear.
to utilize our good, clean, beautiful coal.
And the good, clean, beautiful lungs that the good, clean coal miners will have when they come out of the good, clean mines.
Oil and gas. We have more than anybody of everything, and we're going to take advantage
Well, then why are we buying anything from anyone? I don't even know what we need tariffs for. We have that.
of it, and I appreciate everybody being here. Yeah.
Bye.
Can I ask you, sir, about what's happening in Munich? Senator Roger Wicker shepherded Defense Secretary Hegseth through his confirmation. He got him through that process, and then he had some tough words for him overseas. He said it was a rookie mistake for Secretary Hegseth to outline what would or would not happen as far as Ukraine's membership in NATO goes. And then
I haven't heard that. I mean, Roger's a very good friend of mine, and Peter's obviously, he's been doing a great job. I haven't heard. Let me look at. You tell me something. I have not heard of that.
the question I had is, were you aware of what Secretary Hegseth was going to say in his speech at NATO?
Generally
No. No. Not at all.
speaking, yeah. Generally speaking, I will.
Generally speaking. Well, obviously the devil's in the details, dipshit.
So I'll speak to Roger. I'll speak to Pete. I'll find out.
The Energy Dominance Council, that is for all forms of energy? Does that include
All
wind and
forms of
solar?
energy. Yep.
And the pipeline you mentioned, sir, is that Constitution Pipeline in New York?
Yes.
Can you, is that the
I
project?
believe
that's
so,
finished?
right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it is. And, they've been trying to get it for 20 years. And what it means is for New York, upstate New York, and even everywhere in New York, also other states, but in particular, New England, that New England will now, I think, will cut the energy prices, and big cuts in New York too, but cut the energy prices literally in half. We have the permits. We have permits that just about everything we need, a New York permit, and I would imagine they want to, because their energy prices will come down so far. And it's a lot of jobs for New York. It's a great thing.
It goes between 5 counties. Let's see, where is it? Williams, with support from its partners Duke, Cabot, and AltaGas, has halted investment in the proposed Constitution project. When is this? February 24th, which I don't know when this is. So let's see, menu. Let's go back to here. News. What's the newest thing? That's 2020. This is the, okay. So they stopped in February of 2020. Apparently they halted their investment in 2020. Okay, let's see if we can find a, let's see, Constitution Pipeline. So, whoops, get out of here, you big jerk. What's happening? Okay, Constitution Pipeline is a project that's been, that has been canceled after an 8-year battle. It would have transported natural gas to New York, potentially slashing energy prices as much as 70%, according to this. Trump vows completion of it. Constitution Pipeline News. They stopped doing it back then. Okay. Trump files completion. Cost delays scuttle. Here you go. Costs delays scuttle 124-mile Constitution Pipeline project. A nearly $1 billion Constitution Pipeline project, which has been designed to take natural gas from Pennsylvania's shale gas fields to metropolitan New York and New England, has been abandoned after years of legal regulatory challenges made it economically unfeasible. A spokesperson for Duke Energy said Monday. Although Constitution did receive positive outcomes in recent court proceedings and permit applications, the economics associated with the Greenfield project have since changed in such a way that they no longer justify investment. Duke is one of the 4 project partners with, AltaGas. Williams has a 41% stake. Since it was proposed in 2013 at a projected cost of just under $700 million, delays and legal challenges have driven the cost up by nearly 40%. After the project won federal Energy Regulatory Commission approval in 2014, I forget, who was president when it won approval? Anybody remember? I go back. 2014 was so long ago. New York regulators refused to issue critical water quality permits, citing concerns about danger to wetlands and stream crossings. This pipeline could carry fracked natural gas across 251 water bodies, including 89 trout spawning streams, and through many unique and sensitive ecological areas such as old-growth forests, undisturbed springs, which provide vital habitat and are key to local ecosystems. The director of legal programs of the environmental group Riverkeeper. Constitution's investors just confirmed what we've been saying for the past 8 years. There is no need for this project. So they're just gonna fucking cut down some trees and fuck the streams and that'll be nice for all the fishermen and the hunters out there. Just, go out there and stand in the shade of a majestic pipeline.
Executive order.
Oh wait, this is that same stupid shit. Hold on.
For New York, everybody wants it. We'll be meeting with the various governors, Governor of New York, and the other governors too. And
yeah, you just sued her. I don't know how good she's going to feel about working with you on this.
We can have it built in about 9 months, and let's say 1 year, but we can actually have it built in pretty close to 9 months. It's all set.
That's ridiculous.
We have most of the permits, almost all of the permits.
Well, then you don't have the permits.
And on just, you're prioritizing energy dominance today. You've also prioritized trade balance. The oil industry is a little worried about the steel tariffs. I mean, they put 20,000 feet steel in the ground at a well. How will you balance that? Is there a possibility?
You're talking about steel and aluminum.
Indeed, steel tariffs.
So,
yeah, the oil companies use a lot of steel. They don't produce steel, but they need a lot of steel. So if you're going to open up all these things, where are they going to get the steel for all these new wells that are going to happen in 10 weeks?
the steel, I saved the steel industry in my first
Oh, fuck off.
term by putting on tariffs because China was dumping massive amounts of steel. Others also, but mostly China. And I put very
Yeah, we know that's where you got the steel for Trump Tower.
substantial. We took in $600 billion worth of tariffs from China. No other president's taken up, literally haven't gotten 10 cents.
By the way, Trump thinks that regulators weren't able to shut down or close, and this is the part he doesn't. There's a Chinese company called Tencent Holdings, which owns WeChat and a bunch of other stuff. It's an enormous company. That they were competing with Tencent. They couldn't get Tencent. They couldn't shut down Tencent or get a deal made with Tencent and all that. That's what he thinks. Obviously, other presidents have gotten money from tariffs on things before or presented tariffs to people. Like, it's just stupid. He thinks 10 cents. 10 cent is literally 10 cents. It's like him thinking that people who are here seeking asylum came from asylums. It's just fucking stupid.
From China, not 10 cents. And hundreds of billions of dollars came.
Like, it's so stupid. I mean, Obama had steel tariffs on before he came into office.
In
It's like
from
silly.
China, and they understood it. They understood what I did, but the dumping stopped. And had I not done that, you wouldn't have one steel mill. I think I can say not one steel mill operating in this country. And we need steel. We need steel. I mean, there are some things you have to have, and steel is one of them for military, et cetera. So,
Yeah, military, etc. Let's see. Let's see. Call it protectionist if you want to. I say it's smart policy and one of the most pro-business things President Obama has done since taking office. Jim Kramer. That would and what would that be? What would that thing be? Kramer. Obama just changed the game for steel. After a year and a half of being in the doghouse, the American steel industry has finally bounced back, with stocks like Nucor and Steel Dynamics on fire. Jim Kramer decided to take a closer look to determine if the rebound in steel is real. One of the most amazing and rapid comebacks I have ever seen, and I've been around for a long time, the Mad Money host said. The steel group reached a multi-year high in 2014, but then quickly fell off a cliff until the end of last year. The decline stemmed from many marginal buyers of steel, namely emerging market countries such as Brazil and China, suffering from an economic slowdown. The slowdown in China particularly created a twofold problem for steelmakers in the U.S. First was the decrease in demand for steel, which caused the price of the commodity to plummet. The second was that Chinese government was propping up its steelmakers with cheap loans from state-owned banks. Thus, Chinese companies continued to produce steel though there wasn't as much demand in China. Instead, dumped it around the world at unprofitable prices. This caused the entire globe to be flooded with cheap steel. These impacts were toxic to the earnings of steelmakers in the United States. Major game changer came forward about a month and a half ago when the Obama administration attempted to stop the flood of cheap Chinese steel. In early February, Congress passed a new Customs and Trade Enforcement bill, which gave the president authority to take action against China's dumping of state-subsidized goods. On March 1st, the Commerce Department announced it would add import duties on cold-rolled steel from 7 countries, including China. Call that protection if you want to. I say it's smart business. Another element that has helped the steel rally is that the demand picture for steel and other commodities appears to be improving. The Obama administration's new tariff on Chinese steel was an absolute game changer that has effectively negated the #1 threat to the American steel industry. Throw in a new and improved economic landscape, and I think these stocks have room to run, said Kramer. Trump's talking out of his ass. He didn't invent this. He wasn't the first one to do it. He's not the only one to make money off of it. He's not the only one that reacted to it. As a matter of fact, not only Obama on his own, but with Congress together and the Commerce Secretary that Obama had put in, they all pushed back on this.
I think steel is going to be very strong. It's going to be very strong. I think it'll
Stronger than rubber?
It'll go back to being really powerful. We saved it. I mean, we were talking about U.S. Steel last week. U.S. Steel would have been closed, totally closed. We saved it.
Did you? You saved it, did you? Is that what you did? All by your little self? You took on the big, the beast of Japanese steel, and you vanquished that dragon? Almost feel like I gotta leave that there. You know what I mean? So stupid.
and now it's going to become, I think, very, very profitable. The tariffs are going to save a lot of industries.
Mr. President, U.S. Steel, can I just follow up on U.S.
Yeah,
Steel just
go
very
ahead,
quickly,
finish up.
sir? If the Japanese company that's interested in U.S. Steel wants to take a minority stake as opposed to full ownership, is
A
that
minority
fine?
stake, I wouldn't mind greatly, but what they're doing right now is they're going to be investors, and they're going to be investing
That's what he means by a minority stake.
in, I think, debt and various other things. But
They're going to be investing in debt and other things, meaning they're going to buy U.S. bonds.
we didn't want to let U.S. Steel go to a foreign company. U.S. Steel was the greatest company in the world for a period of 15 years. It was, it was the big deal 80 years ago or so.
It was number one for 15 years, 80 years ago. Think about that. Fuck me.
And psychologically, we can't even think about letting that happen. But what is going to happen?
Psychologically, dude. Wait. Sorry, you're just emotionally invested in the name U.S. Steel.
We've already seen it. You see it in the stock price. With the tariff.
Okay, hold on. What's the stock price? U.S. Steel stock price. Yeah, you totally see it with the, yeah, absolutely. It's amazing. Just like a fucking rocket ship. Where is it? Let's see. Did it go up 5 days? Oh yeah, that's been great. How about a month? Oh, it's up for a month. It was at 36.81 and now it's 38.82. Fuck me, man. I mean, forget about even owning a piece of that. By the time you get your wallet out, it's going to be too expensive. Oh, well, and over the course of a year, it's down 15% in the past year. What about the last 5 years? It's been up in the last 5 years from, it was $8.79 in 2020 when Trump was here. Jesus, wait a minute. During the Biden administration, its stock price went up $30. When Trump left, the stock price was what? I guess technically here. When he left, it would have been $16. Thanks, Biden.
U.S. Steel is going to be a real powerhouse again.
If I could just follow up on Jackie's question about Munich. Vice President Vance's speech to the conference has ruffled quite a few feathers in Europe.
What did he say to ruffle them? I don't know.
You don't know what he was going to say? He's your vice president.
He was talking about the freedom of speech and migration in Europe. Do you believe that European leaders have a fundamentally different view of the world than this administration's?
Well, I heard his speech, and I tell you, you're talking about
Also, wait a minute. You're talking about J.D. Vance? No, some other Vance.
Different view of the world than this administration's.
Well, I heard his speech, and I tell you, you're talking about J.D.'s speech, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. No, the other vice president, Vance.
I heard his speech, and he talked about freedom of speech, and I think it's true in Europe. They're losing their wonderful right of freedom of speech. I see it. I mean, I thought he made a very good speech, actually, a very brilliant speech. Yeah.
Yeah, what was your favorite part? That the guy, I mean, obviously, you could bring up freedom of speech because the other guy mentioned it in his question to you, but what else did he talk about? What else did he, I mean, you read it.
Europe has to be careful. And he talked about immigration.
Yes, according to the guy asking the question, yeah.
And Europe has a big immigration problem. Just take a
Sure.
look at what's happened with crime. Take a look at what's happening in various parts of Europe. I thought his...
Yes, there is, I've heard that there's been crime in various parts of Europe, of different types.
Speech was very well received, actually. I've heard very good remarks.
No, you haven't.
In regards to Ukraine as well, yesterday you mentioned that you thought Ukraine's NATO aspirations were one of the main reasons that the war broke out. Who do you blame for the war, Ukraine or Russia?
Well, I think that there were a lot of people to blame. All I can say is very simply, if I were president, that war would never have happened. And you know what else wouldn't have happened? The Middle East wouldn't be all blown up, and October 7th wouldn't have happened either. Those two areas, you wouldn't have inflation, you wouldn't have October 7th, you wouldn't have Russia and Ukraine fighting. None of those.
Yeah, and so I wouldn't have to come up with solutions to shit that apparently I would have stopped just by being here. Apparently none of that toothpaste is not going back in the tube. I have no idea how any of this shit works.
Things would have happened if I were president.
Mr. President?
Yeah, please.
You mentioned auto tariffs the other day.
Yeah.
When do you plan to unroll?
Howard, I'd say over the next, sometime, maybe around April 2nd. I would have done them on April 1st. Believe it or not, I'm a little superstitious. No, literally, we had it planned for April 1st. I said, let's make it April 2nd. You know how much money that costs? That costs a lot of money just that one day, but we're going to do it on April 2nd, I think. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay, thank you.
The lead prosecutor in Eric Adams' case resigned today, saying anyone who didn't press forward would be a coward. What's your reaction to that and to the overall implication that politics were at play here?
Well, I don't know about it. I mean, obviously, I'm not involved in that. But I would say this, that if they had a problem, and these are mostly people from the previous administration, you understand, so they weren't going to be there anyway. They were going to all be gone or dismissed. If not, they know on Tuesday they're all being dismissed. You know, the whole country is being, because what you do is you come in and you put new people in. So when you say resign, they're going to be gone anyway. But I know nothing about the individual case. I know that they
Yeah, just enough to let him go.
didn't feel it was much of a case. They also felt that it was unfair with the election. Look, I would know that better than anybody because I was weaponized more than any human being in the history probably of the world.
Okay, sure. He was weaponized more than any person in the history of the world. I mean, I don't even know how to argue with it. It's so absurd. I mean, it's not really a sentence.
And I won the election in a landslide, winning all 7 swing states, winning the popular vote and everything else, because the people got it. It was weaponized, and I was weaponized literally weeks before the election. But
Sorry, you were weaponized? You mean it was weaponized against you, I think, as well, his brain doesn't
I
work.
think there's also something to be said. I read that. There's something to be said for what they were doing. It looked to me to be very political. But why didn't they bring this up like 4 or 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, or whenever it happened? You know, they just sat around and didn't complain. Then all of a sudden they complain, and they know they're all being dismissed anyway. So, you know, that's the way it is.
Well, I think the idea is that they didn't complain because he wasn't going to be basically pardoned, or you weren't going to pull the DOJ off of him for the crimes he committed until you decided you liked him.
It's called politics, I guess. Yeah, please.
Earlier this week, you predicted that all hell would break loose if Hamas didn't hand over all of their hostages. What do you expect to happen tomorrow in terms of
I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow at 12 o'clock. It was up to me. I'd take a very hard stance. I can't tell you what Israel's going to do. But I watched the last people come out, and I looked at a before and an after picture. One guy.
We saw this shit before. We was talking about the hostages, and if it was up to him, all hell would break out. It's loose.
I was a big, strong, healthy guy. You could say he was a little bit overweight. He's not overweight anymore. He looks like he just came out of the Holocaust. It looks like a Holocaust picture. I've looked at him for a long time, and they've been treated very badly. The young lady came out last week. Her hand was blown off. I mean, literally, her hand was trying to stop a bullet that was headed for her face. She put up her hand. She goes like this and wiped out her fingers and a lot of her hand. Now, I would.
Yeah, but that didn't happen recently. That happened a long time ago. And again, terrible and horrible, but now you care?
I would take a different stance, but it depends. Look, it depends what Bibi's going to do. It depends what Israel's going to do. But and now I understand they've totally changed. Hamas has totally changed. They want to release hostages now again. But you have to see, this started by them saying, we're not going to release the hostages as we said we were. I said, good. You have till 12 o'clock on Saturday, which is tomorrow at 12 o'clock, to do it. And we didn't hear anything. Then all of a sudden, 2 days ago, they said, no, we've decided we're going to release the hostages. So, but I actually think they should release all of the hostages. Remember, they're probably as bad as they looked. I mean, I don't like to say that, but they look real bad. 4 days ago, 5 days ago when I saw them. And the young ladies that came out were treated really badly. You don't know what happened, but I do. They were treated really badly. But as bad as they look, the ones that follow probably will look a lot worse. I think they're sending out their most healthy. And they've been hit hard on that, Hamas. So they probably
I can't. This is fucking gibberish.
didn't want to release. But they obviously...
I again, does anybody... Hold on, sorry. Hamas stops releasing hostages. Yeah, this is what he's talking about. Palestinian group Hamas announced on Monday it would stop releasing Israeli hostages until further notice over what it said were Israeli violations of the ceasefire agreement. In reply, Israel Katz, the defense minister, said Hamas had violated the ceasefire agreement with its announcement and that he had instructed the military to prepare at the highest level of readiness in Gaza and to defend Israeli communities. Abu Abaida, the spokesperson for the Hamas's military wing, said that since the ceasefire came into effect January 19th, Israel had delayed allowing displaced Palestinians from returning to northern Gaza, targeted Gazans with military shelling and gunfire, and had stopped relief materials entering the territory. The ceasefire has largely been held over the past 3 weeks, although there have been some incidents where Palestinians have been killed by Israeli gunfire. The flow of humanitarian aid into Gaza has increased since the ceasefire. Abaida said Hamas will not release any more hostages until Israel complies and compensates for the past weeks, whatever that meant. And then they just announced who was coming out. And they were like, they're marching them out there and putting them on a stage and showing them, let's see. Israel is set to free more than 360 Palestinian prisoners in an exchange that had been thrown into doubt after days of mutual recriminations. Now it appears to be back on track. Hamas on Friday published the names, here you go, of 3 more hostages. Why does this do this? What? I don't even understand it. Hamas on Friday published the names of 3 more hostages to be released, signaling an impasse over the immediate future of the ceasefire, with Israel had been overcome after days of recrimination between both sides. Let me open this up again. There we go. 3 men are set to be freed on Saturday as part of a series of exchanges between Israel and Hamas. Hamas named them Alexander Trufanov, Sagui Dekel Chen, and Ayer Thorn. Mr. Bekel Chen is one of the last American citizens held in Gaza. That's they're trying to like clear this out. I will say, let's see the where's the last ones? The this is released. Let's see if I can find the people they recently released. Yeah. Trying to find the one of the which one is it? Where is he? One of the most recent ones. Anyways, one of the men, they released, I think, 2 women and a man recently. His wife and 2 babies are still being held, if they are indeed alive. I wanted to find like his picture, but I don't see it in here. Like it's just maybe this one's it. Let's see, back up. This is all right. News search is just fucking broken at this point. It just, let's see. Oh, here we go. Let's see if this is. Find an image of this guy. One moment, everybody. I'm gonna find. Oh, good grief. Like the number of ads you have to comb through, and it just makes it even extra gross. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is a different dude. One second. This guy said they asked him what he plans on doing, and he was like he hopes to see his wife and daughters. He didn't know that they were murdered on October 7th, so he had been held this whole time, thinking that if he gets out, he'll be able to see his family. They're dead. And let's see. I'm a human. Click on it, you silly person. Okay. Oh well, I mean, it's going to be hard to find the footage of this right now, or the like. I'll just get back to where we were. Boink. Where's this? Back to, nope. Back to this guy. There we go.
They changed their mind. I said 12 o'clock tomorrow, and all of a sudden, 2 days ago, yesterday, they said they're going back to releasing. But this all started by the.
Also, it's because Israel just like lined up their forces and said, we're coming. That's what did it, not what he said.
Them saying, we are not going to release any more hostages. And then yesterday, they said they are going to release the hostages. But I think they should release all of the hostages.
About 75,000 workers took this deferred resignation. It's a little bit short of the 5 to 10% goal you were hoping to hit. Do you think you'll have to make up the rest of that number? In
No,
layoffs?
look, that's 75,000 more than we would have had, and nobody knows what that final number is, because in the end, I think a lot of people aren't going to show up to work. A lot of people, they got used to staying home and quote, working. But, you know, I wonder if they had other jobs or other things. You know, they have a lot of problems with that. No, 75,000 is a lot of people. And we paid them well. You know, we gave them a lot of months of severance pay, if you call it that. But, no, I think you'll probably have some more, too, in addition. It's a big, tremendous saving for our government. We want to downsize government, but make it better. Run it better, but downsize. Yeah, please.
So can I ask about the UK? I understand that you had a phone call with Keir Starmer
I
yesterday.
did. I just signed a letter to him. He asked for a meeting, and I agreed to the meeting. We're going to have a friendly meeting. Very good. We have a lot of.
All right, again, we saw this before. It's stupid. This is the youngest hostage still held. They still have this baby. This baby has had 2 birthdays being held like below ground. I'm pretty sure his father, the baby's father, was separated from the wife and the 2 babies is the idea, and they weren't together. They released him, but they've still got the wife and the 2 babies. Yeah. Good times.
Good things going on, but.
All right, waste of time. Blah, blah. Let me click out of here real quick. Now, do I have time? Yeah, I got about 10 minutes left. Shit. All right. There's a couple of things. Where's that? We saw this already. So I don't know, and maybe this is a question for CS. Well, I guess we'll see when we watch it. But Trump is demanding answers. Trump assassination attempt was an inside job, according to Steve Bannon, who is on the Jimmy Dore show. So Jimmy Dore is having Steve Bannon on because he's that left wing.
Come see us.
Nope. There you go. And boring. And boring.
Trump said yesterday, I think, that he wants details provided.
Epic Times. That's where Jimmy's getting his news from, the Epic Times. I mean, it's a little on the nose. I mean, why doesn't he just sign up to be one of the tenant media people at this point?
About his 2 assassination attempts. President Trump said he wants the Secret Service to provide him with information about the 2 attempts on his life last year, including details about both suspects, Ryan Routh and Thomas Matthew Crooks. I'm entitled to know. I want to find out about the two assassins. Why did the one guy have 6 cell phones, and why did the other guy have foreign apps? Ruth had multiple cellular phones in his car, and regarding the apps, Trump was...
I don't know, wouldn't somebody who was gonna try and kill the president, wouldn't they have a lot of shit like that? Wouldn't they gear up? Wouldn't they have a plan? Wouldn't they try all these things? Like, why is any of this a fucking surprise?
Referencing to reports citing anonymous sources that Crook's phone had foreign encrypted apps on it.
All right. Yeah, we've heard about this. Telegram. That counts. Telegram is a WeChat. Like, both of those are foreign encrypted apps.
The president alleged that the information related to the attempts was withheld by Joe Biden's administration. No more holding...
Oh, well, if Trump alleges it, I mean, I don't even know why you're so right, Jimmy. I don't know. We have to instantly take everything Trump says seriously. It's not like he stopped talking about it.
Back because of Biden, I'm entitled to know, and they held it back long enough. Trump told newspapers, no excuses. So, by the way, authorities have released few details about Crooks to the public, and Crooks' family has not released a statement since the assassination attempt.
And you'd think they'd have a good press agent by now. And, shit, they should be in talks with Netflix, I would think.
No motive for the shooting has been publicly established. So who do you think tried to kill Trump? I thought it was...
Jesus Christ. Look at the guest list at Jimmy Dore's show. Fucking this dude. Now, granted, I guess you could still hold on to your, left-wing bona fides if you... had Steve Bannon on, because this guy actually went to jail for ripping off maggots, stealing money from Trump supporters. So, if he's done one good thing, I suppose.
The globalists and, the deep state that didn't want to...
Yeah, it was totally deep state. Yeah. It wasn't just some dude. In this day and age, where can you even get a gun? Much less multiple cell phones. Nobody can afford those.
And the Ukraine war, because as Julian Assange taught us, those wars are not meant to be won. They're meant to be ongoing because it's one big money grift. It's a money funneling. The Ukraine war is that's why they didn't want any oversight on any of the money sent there.
We had first of all, most of the money wasn't sent there. It was sent to American companies, and their goods were sent overseas. The money didn't go there. Secondly, we have Republican Congresspeople and Senate working groups that went there multiple times, dipshit. But again, do you think he doesn't know this, or do you think he just avoids that kind of information because it fucks with his narrative, or do you just think he's dumb? Honestly, the way he talks about it, I think he's just fucking stupid.
And now Zelensky's saying he doesn't know where $100 billion went, and he wants more money. And
no, he's just saying it didn't come to him because it didn't go to Ukraine. It went to American companies to make shit, and then we sent the stuff.
So who do you think was trying to kill Trump, and why aren't they still trying? So just let me ask you that. Who do you think was trying to kill Trump?
I think who trying to kill Trump?
Deep state, radical, somebody leftist, Muslim Brotherhood, China.
I warned the president about this a year before. I said it publicly when Robert Kagan. It's out in plain sight. Robert Kagan is the public intellectual. I think he's over at the Atlantic now. He's the husband of Victoria Nuland, who's the architect of the color revolution in Ukraine.
Yeah, there wasn't a color revolution. It was Euromaidan, and they just wanted to be a part of Europe, and it was pretty cut and dry. And Yanukovych was a puppet of Russia. He lives there now.
So Kagan's one of the biggest public intellectuals we have. I think it's in January 1st, 23 or 24. He does a 5,000-word essay in the Washington Post on New Year's Day. It talks about Trump as Caesar and kind of makes the case that we're looking for a Brutus, that Brutus is, would be a hero. It goes back to the first term of President Trump. Remember the Public Theater in New York?
Yeah, but that, both of these assholes weren't the kind of people who were reading long, essays in the fucking Washington Post or the New York Times. These guys watched Alex Jones, and it was Alex Jones who said, if somebody knocked off Trump, we could, his martyrdom would build momentum and help us establish a truly MAGA-oriented government.
Out there in Shakespeare in the Park, they had to play Julius Caesar, and Caesar was dressed as Trump. He had the blue suit, the red tie, the yellow hair. Portia is Melania. I mean, this wasn't subtle. It was up in your face. And people, the elite in New York, gave a standing ovation every night when the assassins, the senators, assassinate Trump. They have a standing ovation. The elite.
Right. What the fuck does that have to do with some dude in Butler, Pennsylvania, or somebody in Florida who's clearly wacko?
It's in this country.
And again, do you think these guys, either of these assholes, watch Shakespeare?
That's who killed him. That's who tried to kill him. I warned him. I said, Kagan is the Washington Post is the hometown paper for the Imperial capital. I said they basically.
Yeah, but not for Pennsylvania, not for Butler, Pennsylvania.
They gave moral justification. They're looking for their Brutus. Every night on TV, how Trump's a dictator. Trump's awful. This poison that was put out there.
Yeah, and it wasn't a lefty that went after him.
Every single day. Who tried to kill him? The apparatus did. Okay.
No, one of his supporters did, who thought I guess he wasn't going far enough, or agreed with Alex Jones that he was better as a martyr.
Okay. Now they got some assassins, just like, the Lee Harvey Oswalds, the chumps you get that could be the front man.
Or chumps tend to seize these kind of moments because they're fucking chumps.
He was even the front man. But my point is, you've got the kid in Pennsylvania and this goofball from doing the Ukraine work down the golf course in Palm Beach.
So Steve,
no, the deep. It's not even a deep state. I don't even call it deep state. It's up in your face when you're sitting there. Like President Trump put me in charge.
Yes, it's the shallow
Charge
state.
in the first year of with Eric Prince of trying to get us out of Afghanistan.
And you did a great job. Yeah, the first year of his presidency, he put you and Eric Prince in charge of getting us out of Afghanistan. And thank God you were there to get us to stay there the entirety of his first term.
And they'll sit there. They will. And look, I came out of the Pentagon. I worked there as a junior officer. I was a Grundoon back in President Reagan's first term, 19.
Yeah, what happened during that term? Ran Contra and that kind of shit?
1981 to 1983. And these folks today, they'll sit right there in a briefing and look you in the eye and lie to you. A bald-faced lie.
How would you know? You're not in the briefings. Trump kicked you to the curb and isn't inviting you in and prefers Elon Musk over you, who you hate.
The system has its own way they're going to roll. They don't care if it's Bernie Sanders or AOC or Donald Trump or whoever. They got their own way they're going to roll. And the way they're going to roll, it's an imperial power.
Wait a minute. Then how'd they miss? If it's an imperial power and they have all this control and they run all this shit and it's the elites and they have all this stuff, how do they miss? How do they miss twice? But how do they miss it all? What the fuck is that? I'm dead serious. Like if that's the deep state and the Illuminati, the fuck does anybody have to be afraid of? These assholes can't hit the broadside of a barn. They aim at the president and kill a firefighter. That's the Illuminati. That's the deep state. That's who we have to worry about. Oh dear God, these are the people. I guess they need to stop going to the Bohemian Grove and start going to a fucking shooting range or something. This is garbage. You're talking out of your ass. You're trying to cover for the fact that his followers are fucking lunatics.
They're like a Praetorian Guard. They will pick.
You're good.
Pick and choose.
Hey, don't forget to quote 1984 and Brave New World and Animal Farm while you're at it.
Who kind of the front man is, like, of Joe Biden, and we now know that Biden was selected. We now know that Biden really have charge of it. That has to be as serious investigation as anything we've done in history.
Yawn.
That Pam Bondi's got to get on top of that. I think a special prosecutor ought to be on top of that. Everything.
Yes, special prosecutors are apparently illegal, according to Eileen Cannon. So I guess they'll use the precedent of Eileen Cannon to get it kicked to the curb. What are they? Are like independent counsels only illegal in Florida?
From the stolen 2020 election to jail.
When they're only illegal in Florida if you always your entire life have lived less than a 9-minute cab drive from Jeffrey Epstein's house. If that's who the defendant is, then you're in the clear.
6 to the vast criminal conspiracy to try to lock President Trump up, to who ran the White House. And when did they really know that he had dementia or he couldn't do it? Now they're all coming out clear. Oh yeah, I knew her numbers. I knew she was going to lose. I knew the numbers weren't there, or I knew he had dementia. That's all lies. Up until 10 or 11 o'clock that night, you didn't hear any of these people saying that. They weren't saying it.
Well, why? First of all, I don't believe you. But secondly, why would they? Why would you say that shit leading up to the night up? Why would you say Monday? Like, oh shit, we're going to lose tomorrow. I got the numbers right here.
At all. That night before and the morning of, they're sitting there talking and, how Kamala's going to win, the university's going to turn out, the urban areas are going to turn out. Joe Biden,
Yeah, it's weird. The 4 million voters that got registered, just somehow their registrations just poof.
Joe Biden's their supporter, right? All of you never heard any of this until Trump blew her out. And so that all has to be investigated. But I think it's very dear. This is why what Elon's doing, and I don't agree with Elon on a lot of stuff, but this kind of armor-piercing shell that is...
Oh, fuck off. It didn't take him long, did it? The armor-piercing shell, the tip of the spear, and other military phrases.
DOGE, right, that is DOGE, is getting to the heart, I think, of a lot of things in the administrative state.
No, they aren't. And also, what he means is they're attacking the only levers of power the administration has. Get rid of the Department of Education while Trump's in there. He will be unable to affect change in the education programs that it pays for. The funds will still go out, but he won't have any leverage because he doesn't have a Department of Education to actually act through.
The next thing it has to do is the deep state. When I say the deep state, that's this interlocking between parts of the Defense Department, parts of the FBI.
Oh, yeah, parts. Everybody's parts, yeah. And the parts you don't like, the parts that follow the law, the parts that aren't loyalists or whatever, get the fuck out of
Parts
here.
of the Justice Department, parts of DHS, parts of CIA. And
well, if they're just parts, what about the other parts? Because the rest of it isn't on the team? What makes those folks the deep state and not the other part that's on your side?
Other elements in DNI, those interlocking groups have this kind of permanent Praetorian Guard.
No, say Praetorian Guard one more time.
They
That makes
run
it.
the
It sounds so official. By the way, Jimmy doesn't understand what you're saying
American
at all.
Empire. They run the hegemon.
And so why did
like
they-
I said, as soon as Afghanistan and Iraq's over, they'll figure out how to get you in Ukraine, and that'll be the next money. That'll be the next cash cow.
Sorry, we're not in Ukraine, and they didn't figure out how to get us in Ukraine. Russia started it. Russia's trying to get us in Ukraine, I guess, to keep spending money.
Until they figure out something else.
And so exactly. So why, if
Yeah, just gibberish. No one's going to come away with any information worth a fuck in this situation. I know I'm over time, and I've got radio tomorrow. We got plenty to talk about then. But can I show you just a moment of the other genius on the progressive crowd? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Richard Wolff, who is caramelized. Prices will go up drastically! Exclamation point. This is Lee Camp. I don't know if he's interviewing him. I don't pre-watch these things because who needs that kind of shit in their life?
Here's Professor Richard Wolff. How are you? Okay, glad to be here, Lee.
Okay, so he's a guest or whatever. So just so you know, Lee is a dyed-the-wool America bad dude who used to get paid by Vladimir Putin almost directly. Like while he worked at RT, fucking Russia is paying his rent. And everything they did during that time, the Wagner mercs cutting fucking pregnant women's babies out of their bellies and all that kind of stuff in Africa. Like this dude was like, America sucks, all during that period. Didn't give him pause in cashing those checks once. Every meal he ate, every utility bill he paid, his conscience was clear. It's okay that he was literally paid through the same coffers that paid in the Wagner group, but whatever. And then, of course, Richard Wolff, who, God bless Tom Hartman, but I have no idea why he has this dude on. He's got a bigger portfolio probably than a good portion of the New York academic elite financially, and still sells himself as a Marxist. It's so odd.
It's been a while, and so we have some catching up to do. We absolutely do, and Trump likes to.
Yeah, it's been a while because he used to come on when Lee was on RT.
To leave everyone's head spinning. Everything he's doing, attempting to do, laws he's trying to violate, all of the rest. But the main topic I want to get into is these tariffs. Because, you know, he gets into office, he immediately makes economic war with allies and enemies alike. And I guess the three big ones in terms of these tariffs have been that he's announced have been Canada, Mexico, and China. Now, Mexico and Canada have both announced deals that will delay it, but delay it by 30 days or something. It doesn't seem like it's going to last. And I want to learn what it is Trump thinks he's achieving and what the actual end result will be.
Okay, let's go backwards.
Oh, dear.
The end result of what has happened so far, in terms of the economic realities, is a large bag of nothing. Well, friends of mine love this phrase, a nothing burger. Well, that does it. You just got a nothing burger. You took apart the two pieces of bread, and there was nothing there. And, you just spent money, and you got nothing. This is...
I'm fairly certain that's a jam sandwich he's talking about.
Performance art. We have a president who's a good performer, who knows how to capture people's anxieties, fears, nerves. He sells things, or he could be a seller. It is stunningly nothing. Let's go over the details. Number one, you're quite right. The president comes hot out of the gate of inauguration, and he's already threatening.
All right, we've been through this. Like, again, I don't even have an economics degree, and this is exactly what I said. It's performative. We know this. The issue, though, is that with that performative action, he can fuck with the stock market and his buddies can make money off of it. That's the issue here, is that Trump can do all these temporary things, throw a monkey wrench into markets because they don't know what they're doing, drive the price down even just a little bit, and his friends know Monday he's going to roll it back and it's going to pop. And so they could just create an artificial dip. That's what's going on. Oy, goofy. Anyways, I gave him a chance, and I was already bored. So, and I've got to go eat, and I've got radio in the morning. So I will see you guys tomorrow for the House Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide. Please hit the like and subscribe, and we will deal with this one spoonful at a time. My God. Let's see. And I think everybody's, I think we're on for everybody tomorrow. But anyways, I will see you guys later. I got to go figure out what's panicking my cat because he's meowing outside the door. Love you guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you again soon. See you tomorrow morning, early. House Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide on WCPT.